Bully Tom Aspinall is back. Bully Tom Aspinall, guys. He's here. Well, he's not back. He just started. He just begun. Bully Tom Aspinall. Never thought I'd see it. Never thought I'd see this shit. What up, guys? I keep forgetting there's a pay-per-view this weekend. The last one. The last pay-per-view. We got, pretty stacked card. Top to bottom. Not mad at it at all. Not mad at it at all. But I will say, tomorrow at the press conference. Is tomorrow the presser? I don't think nothing's going to be going down. There's going to be no shit going down, Marab, he might go on a little rampage, on a little ramble. Piotr Yan, he doesn't speak English, even though I'm rooting for him over Marab. But I don't know if he's going to really kick it up a notch at the presser. Who else is going to be at that press conference? Just the main card? That might not even be the one I'm looking forward to the most. I think I'm looking forward to 324. 324 is the one. Actually, what am I talking about? They're holding a UFC Paramount press conference Friday, right before the weigh-ins. I'm going to have to go live for that shit. Or maybe right after. I need to figure out who the hell is going to be at that UFC Paramount press conference. I swear that shit's going down. Let me see if I can find out who's going to be there. I bet Paddy and Gaethje, right? And Diego Lopez and Volk, just the fights announced, huh? Hey, I'm glad they're bringing back the popular press conference, though. There hasn't been like a go big press conference in years. Let's see what we can find out about it. I hope Paramount starts throwing crazy press conferences. Okay. The UFC is launching. According to Oscar Willis, the UFC is launching that deal with the press conference on Friday that will feature the main players in their two big January events. That will mean 3 world title fights as well as other major undercard stars. Alright, just tell me who's going to be at the presser. Pimblett, Gaethje, right? No way the whole main card's going to be there, are they? Sean O'Malley might be there, but we know Sean O'Malley ain't crazy hype at press conferences. What's up? How's it going? What's going on, John Dong? I'm trying to figure out who's going to be at that UFC Paramount press conference on Friday. O'Malley? I bet it's going to be O'Malley, Pimblett, the headliner. Then it's going to be O'Malley. Yeah, most of 324. And they're probably going to throw Dana White some curveball questions, maybe like... They need to ask him, why the hell is Diego Lopez getting the title shot? Not much, how about you? Just dropped a Tom Aspinall video. Pretty sore from training. Gotta say. And sipping some tea. But I'm pumped for this weekend. I'm actually pumped for the last fucking card till Paramount. Are you getting Paramount? I think that might be the move, honestly. But yeah, I guess that press conference, it's a mystery. We don't know who's going to be there. Probably 324. There's a press conference going down Friday. O'Malley, Paddy. Again, not a lot of big press conference hype fighters in that one. I can't think of anyone that puts on a show for press conferences right now. As annoying as Colby was, at least when you heard about a press conference, you knew he was going to be talking and hyping it up a little bit, you know? There's another event next Saturday, but this is the last pay-per-view. Oh my god, yeah, there's a boring Apex event the week after, right? I'm going to have to double check who's on that card. I'm sure there's a good fight or two, but that's tough. I'm going to get Paramount, yeah. Yeah, I think it's worth it. Definitely. It's worth it. Now, about that Apex card. Hold up. We're ending the year. I know this is the last pay-per-view of the year, but we're officially ending the year with an Apex card. That sums up the story of 2025, doesn't it? Literally the last card of the year is an Apex card. Okay. Okay, I get it. You got to squeeze in, you know, you got to squeeze in the bench warmers, I guess. Okay, yeah, we got Giga Chad. Even though he doesn't look like a Giga Chad. Brandon Royval, Manel Cap. The main event's cool. Melt Costa versus Charrier. Yeah, it's a typical Apex card. Oh, shit. That's an Apex card, alright. I'm looking at it. It's not going to blow your socks off, alright? Yeah. Hey, that's why I gotta enjoy 323. I don't know how much I'm gonna enjoy this. Wait. There's an Oleshnuk fighting from Poland? Is that Mikhail Oleshnuk's brother? Looks like he's got the same damn tattoo as him. Mikhail Oleshnuk's brother? What the hell? Alright guys, tell me your most hype fight on the UFC Apex. It's just Royval versus Cap. Alright. That's an Apex card, alright. I get it, I get it. Before this year wraps up, I gotta make some 2025 content, like my favorite knockout of the year. I'm gonna be dropping a video, like recapping the whole UFC 2025. I'm gonna be talking about, like, my favorite fight of the year. Things that didn't happen this year. Things that I expected to happen. Things that I predicted and got right. I'm doing a whole 2025 UFC recap real soon. Obviously before the new year. So keep an eye out for that. Shit, we're going to go 6 weeks without a card. Starting after the Apex event all the way to the Paramount fight. So yeah, be expecting some 2025 recaps. I got to think of all my favorite fights. Right now I'm thinking of Yuri versus Khalil Roundtree was my favorite fight this year. Made me go ballistic. You know, that's no doubt. Like, that comeback was insane. Who would win, Prime Figgy or current Pantoja? Prime Figgy or current Pantoja? I'm going current Pantoja. Maybe you're saying Prime Figgy is better than the state of Pantoja right now. Pantoja does not look like he lost a step to me. He's always been a little sloppy aggressive and always goes for the back. He hasn't missed a beat yet to me. He still looks like the same Pantoja that's been kicking ass. Pantoja's an ass whooper. Most underrated champ right now in the sport. No doubt. I'm going Pantoja. And how would Prime Cejudo do against Prime Figgy and current Pantoja? I hate to do this to Prime Figgy again, but I'm going Prime Cejudo. And against current Pantoja, I'm going Pantoja because you're talking about flyweight. That's tough for Cejudo. You know, he's a short dude. I think I just whistled there by accident. He's a short dude. Every time I say short, I whistle. He's a short guy. But he's got like a fucking cinder block head. It's very hard for him to make weight at 125. He's way better at 135. So, Prime Cejudo would beat Prime Figgy. And current Pantoja would beat Prime Cejudo if it was at flyweight. I'm assuming we're talking flyweight. And if you want to know who would win, current Pantoja... Or, sorry, if you want to know who wants to win between Prime Cejudo and Pantoja if he bumped up to bantamweight, that's a tough one. I haven't seen Pantoja at bantamweight. I would have to go with Prime Cejudo if it was at bantamweight. Just being honest. All right, I'm already getting hit with the questions. I got a question for you. What is one UFC hot take that you got? Tell me one UFC hot take. Something that you're the minority in. You know, something that maybe everyone else won't agree with. Why am I explaining what a hot take is to you? You know what it is. Just curious. Because I'm going to be making a video on that soon. I don't want to reveal all my ideas here. I was just thinking about 2025. I was thinking, you know, this year the UFC failed to make so many big fights, and I could rattle so many of them right now. I could rattle off so many fights that the UFC did not book, failed to book this year. I got them in my notes right now. I don't have any hot takes right now. But before 321, I was telling people that Gane was going to beat Aspinall. That was a hot take because most people were picking Aspinall. Interesting. I knew it would be a tough stylistic fight. I knew it would be tough. I thought it might go to like round 3. But I was picking Aspinall by sub. But I knew it would be tough. It wouldn't be a cakewalk like Jones versus Gane. Like stylistically... That's a tough one for Aspinall, but I still think he gets it done in the rematch. I guess my only other hot take right now is that MVP would beat middleweight Alex Pereira. Oh, middleweight Alex Pereira. You know, I think you're right. I do not like middleweight Alex Pereira. He looks rough. Like he's almost featherweight McGregor. You know? Damn, featherweight McGregor looked homeless. He looked like a crackhead. I kind of see that when Pereira went to middleweight. Like, damn, looking back, how skinny he looked at middleweight. Damn. I agree. I think MVP would beat middleweight Alex Pereira. Damn, that'd still be a great fight. How would Pereira close the distance and connect on MVP? Hey, people forget, man. Mike Perry outstruck MVP and beat him in bare knuckle. Isn't that fucking crazy? I know it wasn't MMA, but Mike Perry beat MVP. Think about that. Think about that. Mike Perry beat MVP. And we're here saying MVP could beat middleweight Alex Pereira. It's crazy. It's crazy how that works. I guess Mike Perry was built for bare knuckle. But I'm going to rattle off some of the biggest fights that the UFC failed to book this year. All right, we already know the first two. All right, Jones Aspinall and Islam Makhachev versus Ilia Topuria. Here's another big fight UFC failed to book this year. It could have been an awesome banger retirement fight. They should have made Jose Aldo versus Dominic Cruz for their retirement fight. That would have been an old legends fight. You know, instead, they chose to book Dominic Cruz against Rob Font and Cruz ended up retiring and pulling out of the fight with an injury. And then they threw Aldo in there with up-and-comers that no one knew yet. Batista and Zahabi. Like, damn, they did Cruz and Aldo dirty. They deserve to fight each other and then retire. Diego Lopez versus Yair Rodriguez. We already know about that. And another huge fight they failed to book. Now, I know the UFC couldn't force them to do it, but Kamaru Usman versus Bilal Muhammad. That would have been such a better fight than Ian Gary versus Bilal Muhammad. And if Usman won that, I would have said give him the title shot. Problem is he didn't do that. So I think people are gonna rage when Kamaru Usman gets that title fight. But yeah, I still gotta come up with my hot takes. I know I got a lot. I've been talking about them all year. I got tons of hot takes. Definitely gonna make a vid on that. But man, we missed some bangers this year. UFC definitely should have made all those fights. You know, I get it, Jones was a duck, but they should have booked Aldo Cruz, Diego Yair, Usman Bilal. Damn, those are the fights we needed. And it's funny, when the UFC does book the correct fight that we need, like an example would be Justin Gaethje versus Paddy Pimblett, they fuck it up by putting too much stake on it, by giving it an interim belt. It's crazy. Even when they book the right fight, sometimes they piss me off. Isn't that crazy? Only the UFC could piss me off by booking the right fight, Gaethje versus Pimblett. But for the wrong reasons. They booked the right fight for the wrong reasons. Man. I don't think it's a hot take anymore to say that Dana White sucks. Everyone hates him. That's not a fucking hot take anymore. It's never been a hot take at all this year, in my opinion. But for sure now, it is definitely not a hot take. My hot take, you know what? I'll tell you one of my hot takes. And a lot of people are not going to agree with it. That's why it's a hot take. Even if it's a women's title fight, I don't want it to headline or co-headline. That's not misogynistic. It's just purely based off entertainment. You know? Even if it's a women's title fight, this is my hot take, it still shouldn't be able to headline or co-headline. Because I want the cards to constantly get better. I want the momentum of the card to get more exciting. You know? So that's one of the hot takes I got for you guys. Oh wait, actually I have another hot take. All right, you got another hot take? Wait a second. Are you talking about that big goofy goober Robelis Despan, or whatever his name is, would beat Tom Aspinall in a striking only match? No, wait a second. I don't know about that. I get it, he throws winging, clubbing shots. But I think he's a little too gumpy for Tom Aspinall. I guess that's a hot take. What's up? What up? What up? What's going on, man? We're talking about some of our biggest hot takes right now. And we're also talking about just some of the recap moments from 2025. So let us know if you got a hot take or if something stood out about the UFC in 2025. I agree. Shevchenko should never be in a main or co-main anymore. That's what I'm saying. She already, how many co-main events has she stunk up already? I'm losing count. I think it should headline. The prelims. Yes, yeah. Make the women title fights be the featured prelim. I wouldn't be mad at that. Let the women title fights be the featured prelim. They'll get more eyeballs. And less people will be falling asleep before the main event. I'm not joking. I fell asleep to tons of Shevchenko fights lately. I agree, though. It should headline the prelims. Because I hate having to stay up and wait for her fight to end. Oh, my God. And you think Robellis would beat Tom Aspinall because Aspinall gets hit a lot? Well, now, I don't know if I agree Aspinall gets hit a lot. He's got the shortest fight time in UFC history. I mean, how much can you hit him in that short of amount of time? You know what I mean? But I'm guessing you're talking about the short time that he's been in there, he's been getting hit. You know, I haven't seen Aspinall get hit too much. I mean, I know Curtis Blades tagged him coming in when Aspinall was rushing him. I think Arlovsky tagged him pretty nice. Okay, maybe Aspinall gets hit. But damn, he ends it early. So the wear and tear isn't there. But I hear you. I just think that guy's too gumpy for Aspinall. I think the only heavyweights that even have a chance of beating Aspinall right now would be maybe if Pierre moved up and Ngannou. I think those are the only heavyweights that would have a chance against Aspinall, you know? If Pierre bulked up or if Aspinall fought Ngannou. Other than that, I think he smokes the rest. Waldo gets hit a lot. Oh, Waldo, yeah. Yeah, Waldo, he's good. He's making a name for himself. He's building a lot of fans. No doubt about it. But I gotta say, he did get wrecked by Sergey Pavlovich, right? Like, when he fights a Sergey Pavlovich, it's tough. But they put him on a good fight against Derek Lewis. I'm surprised they didn't make Waldo fight Volkov. I thought that would have been the fight, right? Yeah, before he finishes his fights, he gets hit. It was happening against Pavlovich and Blades. Even Tybura hit Aspinall with an elbow. Yeah, I mean, shit, it's MMA. You're going to get hit, but I hear you. I hear you. For the short amount of time he's been in there, you could think of a lot of moments where he's been getting hit. I hear you. But shit, if Aspinall gets hit, what happens to those other guys? I guess they're just human mitts. You know, I guess they're just pad work for Tom Aspinall. Because shit, when Tom Aspinall throws, he barely misses. Make sure you check out that Tom Aspinall video I just dropped. He calls out that the UFC allows cheating. You know, the refs pointed it out to him backstage. And he even talks about how bullshit Dana White is. How Dana White was making up fake medical reports before even talking to Tom Aspinall. I actually think Derek Lewis would KO Aspinall. I mean, maybe by a puncher's chance, right? Derek Lewis, you could say that about anybody with Derek Lewis. You know, you could say, I think Derek Lewis would KO Jones. You could say that about anybody with Derek Lewis. But DC showed, if you have wrestling and grappling, you might be able to neutralize Derek Lewis. Especially a good fight IQ. That's Derek Lewis's biggest weakness. A fight IQ. I think the FBI needs to investigate that Derek Lewis versus Francis Ngannou fight. What the fuck was that? Plus, Aspinall is very good against guys who brawl with him. I think he would have trouble dealing with Despon's range. Maybe, but that guy misses a lot, you know? That guy kind of just closes his eyes, looks at the floor, and hopes for the best. Did you see the clip of Pereira versus Robelis? Robelis was tagging Pereira. Or Pereira. Let me make sure I'm saying the name right here. I'm not trying to pull a Chael Sonnen. Pereira was getting tagged by Robelis. Pereira usually does get tagged in his sparring. He usually does. He was getting tagged by RoboCop. I saw Pereira spar RoboCop. He was getting tagged. Yeah, he gets tagged, but you know what? Pereira always gets into sparring wars. And he does end up landing more. Even though he gets hit a lot, he usually has more output in the sparring. Do you guys think Pereira knocked out that dude? Like, is Pereira like that Sean Strickland type of guy now in sparring? You know, Sean Strickland just tries to kill everybody in sparring. You think Pereira's like that? Or Pereira? I know Hamzat's like that. Isn't it funny? Strickland accused Hamzat of trying to rip people's heads off during training. When Strickland does the same shit. Pereira spars pretty hard too, but it's funny. When Pereira and Strickland spar, it looks like it's touch sparring. It looks like they're being nice. So it's interesting. I actually think Lewis has a path to beat Aspinall. Wow. Lewis is a hard guy to control. Even Jailton was having trouble controlling him. Hey, remember, Jailton can't fight. DC's quote, Daniel Cormier said it. Jailton can't fight. That was funny. I just think Derek Lewis has a puncher's chance. I think anyone who's getting beat by Tai Tuivasa is for sure getting beat by Tom Aspinall. I'm not trying to do MMA math here, but Tom Aspinall's faster. They're both powerful. Looks like Aspinall has the better jiu-jitsu. But yeah, Derek Lewis has a puncher's chance. Shit. If they had a fight, maybe I'd throw a few bucks on Lewis. If they were booked against each other. Maybe I'll throw a few bucks. Maybe I'll throw $2 on Lewis. But I seen Derek Lewis in title fights before. I seen him against DC. And that shit didn't look good. That shit didn't look good. DC just single-legged him back to back to back. I think the best heavyweight fight could have been like in 2021 with Jones Aspinall or Jones and Ngannou. Jones ruined the two best heavyweight title fights. He ruined the Ngannou fight and the Aspinall fight. We deserved to watch John Jones get flatline KO'd. We deserved to watch it. You know? I have another hot take. I think Ilia Topuria is the worst champ in the UFC right now. Not the worst fighter. Because he knocks everybody out. He's a hard-hitting little dude. But man, what did he have to do to get that lightweight title? How hard did he really work for that lightweight title? And he hasn't fought since and took no damage. Yeah, he's more interesting. He's more of a fan favorite. He's more of a star than Merab and Pantoja and a lot of fighters, a lot of champs, you know? But he's wasting his like potential, I feel like. That's my hot take. Ilia Topuria is a horrible champ. He should just be knocking out everybody right now. He should have been fought Armin. They should have been already fought. Or at least signed the dotted line. And if Arman wasn't fighting, I know Arman was inactive. Topuria should have already been fought Gaethje. He should have just chose someone. He should keep knocking people out. The other fellow Georgian is doing it, Merab. I can't wait to make this hot take video. There's a lot, man. There's a lot. Maybe another hot take would be maybe Team Khabib isn't a bunch of good guys. I know Conor versus Khabib made Team Khabib and Khabib seem humble and like they have all this self-control and more mature because Conor with the dolly and Conor was all drunk at the pressers and getting in legal trouble. But shit, I really think Conor McGregor made Khabib look like a better person than he is, or Team Khabib. Because now, what the fuck's going on? Crypto scamming and shit? With that hat? And then all in the same week, they're all jumping Dennis, who might have deserved it, but I'm pretty sure UFC staff and innocent people got kicked and punched in the midst of it. They train with Aiden Ross. That kind of seems like against their criteria. That might be a hot take I have. I don't know if they're a bunch of good guys like everyone thinks. Oh, and I don't know if I believe that Francis Ngannou grabbed Dana White. That ain't a hot take, but what the fuck was Dana on about that? Francis Ngannou grabbed me by my shirt. Oh my god. I told him, get your hands off me, dude. What the fuck was that about? Was that just damage control? Dana hates his best heavyweight champions. It's crazy. Hello, what are you doing? What's up, man? What's up? We're talking about our biggest UFC hot takes right now. And we're talking about heavyweights that we think have a chance to beat Tom Aspinall. But we're mainly talking about the hot takes or just anything that happened in the UFC in 2025 in general. Let me know some of your hot takes down below if you got any. Here might be another hot take. I don't know if this White House card is going to be a good move. This White House card. I think Brandon Royval is right. Like, what's so hype about a bunch of rich billionaires in the crowd who honestly don't give a fuck about fights or combat sports? They're not real fans, all those billionaires in the crowd for the White House card. That might be another hot take. I might have to go in on that. When Islam is going to fight Topuria? When is Islam going to fight Topuria? In my opinion, they should have fought in June. Islam should have waited to move up. But when is it? I think if they both have the balls to fight each other and the UFC is okay with one of their stars losing, it should happen at the end of 2026. But wait, no, Topuria's making excuses. He's taking a vacation. He has personal issues, guys. He's got personal issues. If I'm being honest, Topuria won't fight and defend against Paddy till probably June. Oh my god. If they do fight, it won't be till next year in the winter, like November, December. It'll probably be next year in New York. How about that? That's the most realistic. That's the soonest they're going to fight. They're both real and active. And Topuria won't be fighting the first quarter of this year, which is a shame. I guess it's a hot take to say he's running from Arman. I know he's not scared, but he knows it's a 50-50 fight. There's a good chance to lose. He don't want to lose to Arman. You know, and then you could say, if Ilya's willing to fight Islam, why would he be worried about Arman? It's the risk versus reward. If he loses to Islam, no big deal. He still gets to keep his reputation. You know, he's not going to lose respect for losing to Islam. But if he loses to Arman, who he's claiming as a nobody, man, that's going to ruin him. Topuria taking 8 months of a break. Disgraceful. Disgraceful. And everyone knows it, but everyone's afraid to call it out. Everyone loves Topuria. He can do no wrong. I love his fight style. I'll watch any and every Topuria fight, but I'm not going to pretend like he's not a bullshit champ. Guess what? He didn't even make weight. He didn't even make championship weight against Charles. Look up the Topuria weigh-in. He weighed in at 155.5 pounds. And then the weigh-in guy covered it up and pretended like he read the scale wrong. He's like, oh, I read it wrong. Topuria didn't even make championship weight against Charles. You know. I know he can knock almost everybody out, but shit, not making weight, not fighting, is that a champion? I'm not a Topuria hater. I just want to see him fight. Just like the rest of his fans, you know? And talking about 170, he shouldn't be talking about 170. He hasn't even proved anything in 155 yet, really, you know? What else do we got with the hot takes? But yeah, Topuria, 8 months of break. That's insane. That is insane. Paddy is full entertainer. Looking from the outside, it looks like it. It looks like it. Right? I remember he always did his goofy dance and shit. He's got his Paddy the Baddie song. Paddy versus Topuria will be very entertaining. Okay. I get it. He's got the goofy baby here with the bowl cut. The accent. He calls people a sausage. But it ends there. I'm telling you. At the UFC 314 press conference the last time Paddy fought, I didn't even notice he was there. He was so quiet. I get it. He's talked trash with Topuria throughout the years. He calls him churro, or what does he call him? Mushroom sausage. But I think his trash talk ends there. I think that's his limit. I think that's as far as it goes. Is sausage. You know, I kind of do view Pimblett as a company man. I like Paddy Pimblett. I'm a fan of Paddy Pimblett. But no doubt that he's definitely got a company man side to him. He is more entertaining than Sean O'Malley. I'll give him that. Sean O'Malley can't give you any soundbite. Dude was cursed with horrible trash talking, or just mic talking on the mic in general, you know? Don't underestimate him. Oh no, Paddy's a good fighter. He's a good fighter. Okay, we're going to see Paddy Pimblett probably this Friday at the press conference. They're having a Paramount press conference this Friday. I'll bet Paddy Pimblett, he's not going to pull some crazy stunt that goes viral. I'm telling you. He's not going to Kevin Lee punch Michael Chiesa for talking about his mom. You know? He's not going to Nate Diaz water bottle it up and start chucking water bottles at Gaethje, you know? No, skill-wise, Paddy is... Oh, you're talking about his fight skills only. His fight against Chandler was very entertaining. It's about time someone 12-6 elbowed Michael Chandler. Yeah. The Chandler fight was very entertaining. Paddy's a good fighter. Good grappling. He is getting better. Yeah. If you're talking about in the cage, yeah, he's getting good. Paddy is a G, but definitely got gifted the title shot. I think he'll win by sub. True. That's true as it gets. That's facts. Look, Gaethje vs. Paddy was the right fight to make, but they made it for the wrong reasons. And I think he'll win by sub, yeah. Paddy can win by sub. Gaethje's got subbed in all his title fights, all his official title fights. Gaethje got subbed. But now that I think about it, this is Justin Gaethje's 5th fight for a title. This is Gaethje's 5th fight for a title. Think about it. He fought Khabib for the real belt. He fought Charles for the real belt. He fought Tony for the interim belt. He fought Poirier for the BMF belt. This is Gaethje's 5th fight for a title of some sort. They love Gaethje. I get it. I watched Gaethje live. I saw him fight Eddie Alvarez. I was there in the crowd. He's awesome. I always watch Gaethje. I'm not mad at all his title fight opportunities. But yeah, he's getting subbed. Got subbed by Charles. Got subbed by Khabib. No shame in that. There's no shame in getting subbed by Khabib and Charles. But in the manner in which they subbed him so easily, I was watching, I'm like, man, this guy doesn't train jiu-jitsu. He must just train MMA grappling. Like, I don't know if Gaethje's ever done like a pure jiu-jitsu class. Joshua Van versus Pantoja, what you think? Ooh. Well, I think Joshua Van has a better chance of beating Pantoja than, let's say, Petr Yan has of beating Merab. But I can't pick against Pantoja again. I can't. Joshua Van, yes, on the pads, he'll probably look way better than Pantoja. If you see Josh Van hitting the bag, hitting mitts, he'll probably look way cleaner than Pantoja. Pantoja's sloppy. But it's MMA and that shit works in MMA. He just fucking goes nuts, man. And then he just takes your back. You can't stop it. He never stops moving forward. I'm going Pantoja. He's going to drown Joshua Van once he gets his back. It's only a matter of time. Might be round 2, might be round 3, might be round 4. But I think Pantoja's going to sink in that choke. The cannibal. Man, that's crazy. I love Gaethje's fighting style, which I'm sure everyone does, but the entitlement definitely makes him look like a douche. Yeah, a lot of it stems from that manager, Ali Abdelaziz. But that many title shots, and to think you deserve another over a guy who knocked you out max is crazy. I agree. This is what I think happened. Obviously, Ali Abdelaziz is all these fighters' managers. But he just attends their parties and their family gatherings just so he looks like he's on their side. He works for the UFC. He does whatever the UFC tells him to do. Even if it means screwing over his fighters. And to be honest, Ali Abdelaziz, he screwed over Justin Gaethje. Justin Gaethje was supposed to get the title fight against Islam after he knocked out Dustin Poirier with the head kick. And they fucked over Gaethje. Ali Abdelaziz in the UFC forced or told Gaethje to do the max fight. And we got all distracted because it was UFC 300 and it was a good fight. But Gaethje actually deserved the title fight after he knocked out Poirier. But they gave it to Poirier. So this is just them like paying him back, I guess. for being like a highlight reel for Max. Dustin didn't deserve... People forget, man. Dustin Poirier did not deserve that title fight against Islam. All he did was beat Benoit Saint Denis by the skin of his teeth. Gaethje actually deserved it. Wrestlers are boring. Have you watched Van vs. Royval? I watched Van vs. Royval. Yeah, it was the best fight on UFC 317, right? That was on the Topuria Charles card. That fight was a banger. The way that Van like slipped out of the pocket and kept countering. He's so good at that pullback and then counter. That was crazy. And then Royval with those straight punches using his reach. Like literally every second he was throwing volume. Every second. That was crazy. He was just pop, pop, pop. From Southpaw, right? That was a banger fight. No one backed down. There was no losers in that fight. But yeah, obviously Van won. Van was more clean. He kept going to the body. Van's good at going to the body. If I was Joshua Van, he better keep going to the body against Pantoja. Because Pantoja is really going to try to body lock him. And I feel like if Josh Van is going for those body hooks, that could help him get like, you know, double unders and stop some of those takedowns. If Josh Van is just throwing over the top and aiming for the head, I feel like Pantoja is just going to get low, get a takedown, get a body lock, something. I want to see Josh Van going to the body like he does so well. It might be harder to get a takedown or a body lock, you know. Pantoja, he goes full throttle. He goes for the kill right off the bat, you know. He never plays it safe. Do you think this fight's going to be full entertainment? Pantoja versus Van? Do you think it has a chance of being fight of the night or something like that? Or do you just think Pantoja's going to take his back and sub him? And shout out to everyone in the chat. Make sure to like and subscribe too. And check out that Tom Aspinall video we just dropped. Or I just dropped. Tom Aspinall's gone full bully. He's calling out the referees that are promoting cheating and eye poking. Yep. Oh yeah, it's going to be a banger fight. It's going to be a banger fight. No doubt about it. If I had to guess a fight of the night for 323, that's a tough one. That's a tough one. Maybe Vettori versus Bruno Ferreira or Fiera. Grant Dawson versus Manuel Torres. That's going to be a good one. But the most interesting fight besides Pantoja Van, like the most interesting fight might be Cejudo versus Tabit. I'm actually going with the underdog Cejudo. I'm sorry. I think Cejudo is better than Peyton Tabit, even right now. Pantoja has more experience, but we don't know what will happen. True stuff. I'm streaming this whole fight card, guys. This is one of those cards where I could start the live like from the very first fight and I'll have a good time. It starts fast. Appreciate everyone for subbing. Thank you. Appreciate it. But yeah, Pantoja's got the experience. And Josh Van has none of the experience. I mean, he takes a lot of fights. He's been active, but man. What about the other flyweight fight? Is Brandon Moreno fucked? He's just been edging out decisions lately. Is that undefeated fighter from Japan really going to put hands on him and choke him out? He's more of a submission guy, in my opinion. Brandon Moreno might be screwed this card. I don't know. He's just been edging out decisions. You know, I think Japan might choke him out. But I actually got Henry Cejudo against Peyton Tabit. Honestly, I think that might be one of the most exciting fights on this card. Henry Cejudo. I wonder if he's going to come up with some cringy one-liners this press conference. I swear, if Henry Cejudo is the most entertaining fighter at this press conference, that's a problem. I mean, the dude's halfway retired. He's already retired. He's 1 foot out the door, right? It's his last fight. I think this is Cejudo's last fight. Watch him be the most entertaining fighter at the press conference. And I'll love for him to be entertaining, but come on. The guys that are in the game need to step it up. Here's a hot take I got. I think something changed within this past decade. Maybe post-COVID. That you're not allowed to talk trash anymore to your opponent. Especially at the press conferences. I mean, I've never seen, like, such dull press conferences in my life. These guys are MMA fighters. They get hit in the head for a living. You're telling me they're all just so polite and house trained and they just sit there like good boys and just... They're not choir boys. Like, what the fuck? I feel like there's been like a lot of Twitter trash talk, but I'm not seeing it in action at the press conferences. But everyone loves drama. Right. Which is like, why? Then why isn't it happening? Like, Dreykus is always one of those slick, get in your head trash talkers. He wasn't brash, but Dreykus says stuff that really hurts. None of that. He just said nothing against Hamza, you know? He said nothing that would get to Hamza. I'm thinking of like all the press conferences, you know? Islam was the most entertaining guy at the last press conference. Islam Makhachev, that's crazy. How are the fighters on stage going to let Islam Makhachev be the most hilarious, entertaining fighter on the stage? Crazy. Islam stole the show. Like, that's just crazy. Never would I have thought that Islam Makhachev would be the most entertaining fighter at a press conference, you know? Ian Gary versus Hamzat. That was awesome. That's what I'm saying. The best promotion we get, the best content we get is recorded off an iPhone in the UFC hallways. Like in the arena hallway. That's the only content we get. It's like recorded off an iPhone. Not even published by the UFC. Press conferences have definitely plummeted too, that's for sure. I gave up on watching them unless I know it's a good presser. Like DDP making fools cry. I hear you, man. I hear you. Make sure you watch the press conference recaps then, because the 323 one is tomorrow, but Friday, you might want to watch that. They're doing the Paramount press conference. They're like doing a press conference like, you know, those go big kick off the year pressers. They haven't done one of those in forever, so I'm curious to see what goes down. You know what? We need to bring back every fighter is at the same damn table. They're all at the podium during the post-fight interviews, during the post-fight press conference. Remember that? Even I think it was while the Fertittas still owned the UFC. Everyone was there at the post-fight press conference. Bisping was telling Luke Rockhold, he said, "I just knocked you out. Shut up." You know? Am I crazier, or was Bisping next to Luke Rockhold after he knocked him out at the post-fight press conference? Like, all these guys were sitting next to each other. Everyone who just fought on the card. That was sick. That was sick. Bring back having every fighter on the card at the post-fight press conference all at the same desk. All getting interviewed, you know? Like one at a time, like how they used to do it. Do you think they'll kick it up a notch? It's wishful thinking. It's wishful thinking. If I had to bet on it, no. But I'm going to keep my hopes high. I'm going to keep my hopes high. Post-fight press conferences were awesome. Yeah. I mean, what the fuck happened here? What happened? I remember when Jones beat Rampage Jackson, they were talking shit to each other still after the fight. At the post-fight press conference. Those things were hilarious. Bisping was telling Rockhold to shut the fuck up. You just got knocked out. You're concussed. Shut up. I remember, I think Dominic Cruz and Uriah just fought UFC 199. And they were talking trash to each other still after the fight at the press conference. Entertaining shit. You know, now they're just one at a time. Like there's no energy in the room, you know? Yeah, bring back having the whole card at the post-fight press conferences. That was fucking awesome. What else? Everyone knows Dana lost his mind. He's saying, what's up with all this Usman? Usman's the pound for pound GOAT of welterweight. Now he's in talks for a title fight. I don't know what the hell is going on there. Usman versus Bilal would have had a lot of heat. I wish Kamaru dropped that interview he did with Bilal where apparently Bilal slapped him. Man. Don't give Usman a title shot, not only for his record, his last few fights, but because he's not dropping the video of the altercation with him and Bilal. Come on. You know how many views he would get? He could have hyped that fight up, and Bilal could have fought Usman, but it's all good. It's all good. I really think Ian Gary could get the title fight. I think he deserves it, actually. And I don't even like Ian Gary that much. But I think he can be a problem for Makhachev. You know? Gary can't talk like Conor. He can't do the talking and all the stuff, but he's one of the best point fighters I've ever seen. What would happen if Ian Gary fights Islam Makhachev? I bet everyone's going to pick Islam, but Ian Gary has great takedown defense. And he's one of the best point fighters. That's a problem for Islam. Plus, Ian Gary will tower over him in height. I think everyone will pick Islam against Ian Gary, but when you see them face off, you might be like, hold up. Hold up. There's a lot of talks at welterweight, you know. That's the best, most competitive division. It's my favorite division right now. It's definitely the most stacked. I don't care what anyone says. It's very clear what the two most stacked divisions are in the UFC right now. It's very clear. First up is welterweight. No doubt, that's number one. Number two most stacked division in the UFC right now is featherweight. It's way better than lightweight. Way more real contenders. And when you think about it, lightweight just has a bunch of featherweights, you know? They gave Mansour Abdul Malik another can to crush. Oh yeah, Tricoli. Man. Yeah, they gave him Tricoli. Yeah, I'm predicting early KO for Malik. You're right. Tricoli's getting messed up. You know what? They want to build him up. I get it. I get it. Sometimes it works. Sometimes it doesn't. I hope Cejudo crushes Tabit. So you just said Malik's crushing a can. Well, I think Peyton Tabit's going to get a can of whoop ass. I really do. I don't think he deserves to fight Henry Cejudo. I don't. What's up with UFC pushing fighters like Peyton Tabit and Michael Morales? What's going on here? What's going on here? I know it makes no sense and it'd be bad for the UFC, I guess. But I hope Cejudo destroys Peyton Tabit. I don't need to see Peyton Tabit rise to the top. No, I'm good. I'm good. I'd rather, yeah, I'm not on the Peyton Tabit hype train. I don't even think there is one. Barcelos ended it, right? It's funny. Actually, I wouldn't have minded Henry Cejudo versus Sean O'Malley. I think O'Malley needs to work on someone who could shoot takedowns. I think Tabit gonna win, unfortunately, because he has those he has those gay powers. Those dilemma gay powers. Shit. He's going to do what Morales did? Is that how Morales beat Brady? Maybe that's how Morales beat Brady. I think you're a big fan of Cejudo. No, it's more so I would just want Peyton Tabit to get beat. I don't care about all this Frank Ocean shit and all that stuff. But yeah, I'm more of a fan of Cejudo than Peyton Tabit. No doubt. And I honestly think this is one of the most interesting fights on the card. But Cejudo was alright. He has the dumbest retirement in UFC history, in my opinion, though. He had the dumbest retirement I've ever seen, that I've ever heard of. Who retires while they're in their prime like that, on top? Besides Khabib, of course. And then comes back just to lose all his fights. Cejudo bit off more than he could chew. He thought he was a bigger star than what he was. I think Ali Abdelaziz was behind that. I bet Ali Abdelaziz brainwashed Henry Cejudo with hypnosis to retire. There's no way anyone's that stupid to retire when they're at like the pinnacle of the sport. I think Tabit is being groomed to be a champ. The next O'Malley. I could see that coming. I could see it coming. You're right. And if he knocks out Cejudo, they're definitely going to be shooting for that. Oh, give him, I don't know, who's high up in the bantamweight rankings. They'll give him someone good. Maybe Jan, if Jan loses. Who knows? You know what? I don't like a lot of the bantamweight contenders. Now that I think about it, I'm not rooting for a lot of these bantamweight contenders. Ayman Zahabi, I don't care about Ariel Helwani as a UFC fighter. That's Ariel Helwani disguised as a UFC fighter. Ayman Zahabi, I don't care about that guy. Peyton Tabit, who else we got? What happened to bantamweight? Wellmaker just lost. Oh, we got Vinicius Oliveira. He's pretty good. And Batista. I don't see a lot of hot prospects right now in bantamweight. I see a lot at featherweight, though. But yeah, I think they want Tabit to be the next O'Malley. No doubt about it. No doubt. Appreciate everyone liking and subscribing. Appreciate that, guys. 2 people just subbed. Shout out to you guys. Appreciate it. I was thinking based on fighting styles. And I was going to pick Cejudo. Then I realized Cejudo was a sacrifice. Hey, if this isn't fair game here, and, you know, I don't even think the FBI would actually solve that scandal that the UFC was going through, you know, because Dana's friends with all of them, but I just feel like in a real fight, Cejudo wins. But yeah, you're right. The UFC cannot have Cejudo win. There's no way. They need Peyton Tabit to win. UFC never wants you to win on your last fight. Ever. Only a few have. Nate Diaz and John Jones. Habib did too, but he wasn't ready to retire. But yeah, fighting styles, I think Cejudo's way better than Tabit. The advantage Tabit has is he can make it look like almost like Brady versus Morales. Like, he's so much taller, he can hit him from across the octagon. He can whip those long arms across the octagon. Put some torque on those punches. But I don't know if he's going to crack Cejudo because, like I said, Cejudo's got a cinder block for a head. Dude's got a literal cinder block for a head. Hey, it should be a good one. I could see it going to decision. You know what? I think it's going to go to decision. Be a back and forth good scrap. And I bet those bullshit judges are going to give it to Tabit. Even if Tabit wins, I don't see the finish. I don't see it. Not because I'm a huge Cejudo fan, you know. Trying to think of some underrated bangers on that card. I mean, they're all pretty good. Now, Jan versus Bogdan Guskov. I don't think it's crazy to say Jan might lose another split decision in this fight. Because I don't see Bogdan Guskov just flatlining Jan. Unless Jan really deteriorated while Bogdan really got that much better. I could see a Bogdan Guskov very close decision. Now UFC is becoming only entertainment company. That's what it seems like, but where's the entertainment? I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. They're not, the best isn't fighting the best. The best is fighting who they deem the most marketable. But to me, that's not entertaining. What's entertaining to me is everyone at a round table, face to face, and announcing the fights during the big cards, during the big pay-per-views, and having like a commercial like advertisement for it. Don't announce the fights like Dana does off his iPhone. Have a big promo cut, air it on the pay-per-view or the big cards, announce fights like that. Cue the camera straight to the round table. Both fighters are facing off. If they were entertaining, you know, how about something longer than a 15-minute press conference? Let's go for a 40 to 45-minute press. Let's go for a 45-minute press conference. How about that? And without Dana White cutting everybody off. And then another thing we need is no NPC reporters. Let's get Ariel Helwani back in there. Let's stir the pot up a little bit. I'm just tired of the boring wrestling bullshit. I don't know if it's the wrestling more so than the actual fighter who's just doing this. Like, who's just laying and humping. Because no one was bored watching Arman vs. Hooker. At least I wasn't. That shit was entertaining as hell. But damn, Hamzat vs. Dreykus was boring. I know what you're saying. But there's some exciting grapplers out there, you know? But I hear you, I hear you. And I don't like Michael Chandler, but he does exciting wrestling, even though he fights retarded. He doesn't know how to land on top of someone correctly. But he suplexes people. He slams people. It's crazy. They know if they give Arman a title shot, maybe Arman's going to win. They don't want that. I know, yeah. They don't want Arman to win. They know Arman has a really good shot of beating Topuria. Or at least really busting up his face and taking him down. I like Bryce Mitchell. He's one of my favorite fighters, but he's not like the elite of the elite. You know, he's pretty fucking good. But if Bryce can take down Topuria, I know Arman can. I know Arman can. Maybe that's why they're avoiding him. Yeah, it's a win-win. Paddy gets to avoid him. Ilya gets to avoid him. And they get to fight each other. The reason I think Arman would be more entertaining is because I feel like Ilya and Paddy are friends. I feel like Ilya and Paddy are friends. You know? And if you don't believe me, check out my video. Arman Tsarukyan exposes UFC's Paddy Pimblett plan. I call it the Paddy Pimblett plan. I've seen, you know, tons of times where Paddy and Topuria are dapping each other up. Paddy versus Topuria will be more profitable. Hey, it will. It will. I just wish the fight got matched organically and entertaining. Well, I don't know about in the cage, but I think Paddy versus Ilya is more entertaining and marketable if they made that matchup organically. Meaning, if Ilya beats Arman and Paddy beats Gaethje, you know, like, it just, knowing that Arman's in the division and that Arman would kill Paddy. That's all I gotta say. That just it just hurts the fight a little bit. Someone's gotta deal with Arman first. Ilya's gotta knock out Arman before he can fight Paddy. Because I know that Arman would slice and dice Paddy, no problem. Even though Paddy's good. Paddy versus Topuria is more profitable and entertaining. I am also tired of the lame fighter personalities and people from the middle of nowhere being so boring and unrelatable. Yeah. Thank you for agreeing. And me too. The problem is I think the UFC loves that shit. They love a boring fighter who just sits down there and has duct tape over their mouth. And just says, yeah, we'll see what happens. Yeah, we'll see. I don't know. We'll see. We'll find out. Like, they love boring. Because why didn't they book Diego Yair? There's another rivalry that the UFC is failing to promote. DDP and Brendan Allen. They don't like each other. I don't see that fight being talked about. Come on, UFC. Even Brendan Allen's fight 2 fights ago. Him and Marvin Vettori literally fought in a casino. There's a video of it. Look it up. Brendan Allen, I'm sure you know, fought Marvin Vettori in a casino. Guess what? Brendan Allen and Marvin Vettori weren't in the fucking press conference for whatever fight card that was when they fought. You know, I don't care if they're on the prelims. Put them in the press conference. They're the only guys on the card that hate each other. Man, I want to go to the UFC headquarters and just do the Francis Ngannou, you know, grab Dana by his shirt. They don't want another Bryce Mitchell situation, let's be honest. I get that, but a lot of these fighters don't even do that. You know, I don't think they have to worry about that. But I don't get why they're worried about just random trash talk. There's only a few of Bryce. There's only a few of Bryce. You know, there's no one like Bryce in the UFC really like that. No one is willing to get fired for their beliefs the way that Bryce is. Bryce will say anything at the risk of getting fired. He doesn't care. He don't care. Bryce is going to do Bryce. Arkansanity, right? Oh, man. Yeah, they don't want another Bryce. I mean, Bryce isn't allowed on Daniel Cormier's podcast. He's not allowed on Ariel's show. He's not allowed. I'm surprised he was even on the Bisping podcast. But Bryce is so cool, man. People forget Bryce beat a Gracie and he beat a Nurmagomedov on the ground in MMA. He beat a Gracie and a Nurmagomedov. You know, you got to give it to him. It's a shame he lost to Emmett, but it is what it is. I wish he beat Gene Silva, but it is what it is. He's at bantamweight now. Where's Bryce's bantamweight fight? I'm ready for a Bryce fight. How about this? Hear me out. I'm the matchmaker. Bryce Mitchell versus Alexandre Topuria. Who's with me? Who's with me? Bryce Mitchell versus Alexandre Topuria at bantamweight next fight. That's the fucking fight. That's the fucking fight. We're going to see if Topuria's as good as his bro, and we're going to see if Bryce can avenge his loss to a Topuria. I think that's perfect. I don't see any other matchup. I know Alexandre Topuria called out Umar. Bro, Umar would smoke you at this point. Fight Bryce. I think that's a fun fight. Bryce versus Topuria's brother. But since that's the fight to make, you know, I doubt the UFC will do that. Bryce isn't in the top 15 yet. What else we got here? Make sure I didn't miss any messages on the phone. But yeah, we got 2 press conferences back to back coming up. Tomorrow and the next day. So make sure you check out tomorrow whenever the press conferences start. Probably 5 o'clock Eastern or whatever. Or I don't even know. What time do the press conferences start? Who knows? But even if I don't stream the press conference, I'm definitely going to stream after it. Or drop a recap video on it, if it's good. Shout out to everyone in the chat. Once again, shout out to everyone in the chat. Make sure to check out the most recent Tom Aspinall video. I hope we get Bully Aspinall. The Cyril Gane rematch is hyped up. We need Aspinall back. We need him back. I'm glad he did an interview. I'm glad he's back to talking. The silence was worrying. I think some of my comments got shadow banned again. I don't even know why. I don't think anything today got shadow banned. But yeah, before some of them did. I don't even know why. Soft censorship, I guess. Yeah, I always check my phone though, because that shows me the ones that don't pop up on the PC, on the computer. But yeah, we need Aspinall back. No doubt about it. Let me check what time this press conference is tomorrow. Because I might have to train at that time, but we'll see. It's probably around 5 o'clock p.m. evening. Who knows? But yeah, none of your comments got shadow banned today, thank God. But don't worry, I'll keep my eye out for them. I won't let them get shadow banned. I always check my phone to make sure I didn't miss any that got shadow banned or whatever. It shows me on the phone. What else did I not cover? The 323 predictions, 324. Aspinall's back. The Usman and Islam shit. I asked a question and it got deleted from chat completely. What question? Just now? What was the question? I didn't see that one. Now I'm curious. What could it have been? Type it again. Maybe just put a space in between it. Maybe misspell the word with the space in between it so the chat can't detect it. It was about Bryce's Instagram post. Let me go check Bryce's Instagram post. What's going on here? I tried asking it multiple times. Try to put a space in between it. Oh, is it? I'm looking at it right now. Bryce announces he has been voted for top 10 anti-Semites of the year for the second year in a row. All right, I'm going to watch this right now. I think this is it.
I just woke up. I found out I got top 10 anti-Semites of the year. This is 2 years back to back, man. This is awesome. And what's crazy about winning this year is I didn't even train. Like, I didn't even try. Like, seriously. I would thought, you know, well, what does this champion got to do to keep making this list? And, dude, I don't do anything. I just exist as normal. I read my Bible and quote scripture. And then they keep calling me anti-Semite. But I'm wondering, like, what are they going to do? Like, when are they going to come kill me? Because, like, I'm still breathing. I figured they's going to kill me. But whatever, you know, I just keep winning the whole damn competition. It's not even fair. Hell, I'm pretty sure I got first place out of the top 10. But yeah, like I said, if you want to be a champion, man, you just got to read your Bible. You can be anti-Semite of the year.
Wow. Now that's a trophy we can all aspire to have one day. Wow. Wow. Screw the belt. Bryce don't need the belt. He's got the real trophy, guys. And he said I'm still... Man, Bryce got the heaviest nuts in the UFC. No one would say this stuff. No one else would say this stuff. The post about the certain country in South America. It won't let me mention the post before that one, even though the post you watched is also good. That's crazy. Yeah, I didn't see your question. Wow. Well, hey, Bryce got awarded a very honorable trophy. For the second year in a row, back to back. Bryce Mitchell's back at it again. He's the people's, even though he's public enemy number one. Or he's company enemy number one. He's the people's champ. Come on. He keeps winning this award over and over. He's not even trying. He's just waking up. And he's just winning this award over and over. Let me read some of these comments on Bryce's post. Strickland commented, "Crazy, you just like fishing." Wow, everyone is on Bryce's side here. We all know the deal. Oh, man. It's crazy, you know. Bryce gets banned for his beliefs. But in the UFC, we have tons of religious fighters in the UFC. And they're allowed to worship and however they want, whoever they want. But shit, Bryce's beliefs get him kicked out of everywhere, you know? But then you have another group of fighters in the UFC where if you disrespect their beliefs, you're a piece of shit. And they're allowed to jump you. But you're allowed to disrespect Bryce's beliefs and ban him from everything and kick him out of everything and exclude him from society because of Bryce's beliefs. Oh, man. What do you got to say about that, MMA Joey? What do you got to say about that? Read the post before the one about the upcoming war. On Bryce's Instagram? Bryce says so much. Ark Insanity episode 3 and 4 are out. Freedom! Bryce's most iconic moment. Holding that Bible in the air. Freedom! And then he won that fight and he beat Dan Ige. That was crazy. That's when the UFC knew they had to worry. When Bryce held that Bible in the air and said, "Freedom!" on that Apex card. That was crazy shit. And he almost lost that fight, but he won. And then Bisping cut him off in the interview. Shit, that was crazy. I'll never forget that fight. Freedom! Well, I'm glad all that Bryce Mitchell hating and mocking is done. I'm glad. I'm glad that people are starting to realize, hey, this crazy guy who says all this stuff might be onto something. Bryce set a new boundary, you know what I mean? And Bryce's last press conference against Gene Silva was hilarious. Bryce is pure entertainment too, without even trying. But yeah, I couldn't find the post you're trying to tell me about on Bryce's page. He's got a lot of posts about that stuff. It's hard to find. People are waking up in the past few years. That's what's up. That's good. That's good. Hey, I know censorship is stronger than ever in UFC and MMA right now, but at least there's a few guys that don't give a fuck. There's a few guys, you know? And Bryce is definitely one of them. I definitely got to make a Public Enemy #1 tier list. I'm putting Bryce at the top of that list. No doubt about it. But yeah, people are waking up the past few years. No doubt about it. Now, I feel like Bryce is what Strickland tries to be. I feel like Bryce is what everything Strickland tries to be. But Strickland kind of throws shit at a wall to see what sticks. Sam Peters, okay, bro, see you. All right, man, have a good night. Have a great night. We'll catch you on the stream soon. Thanks for joining the chat, man. Really appreciate that. Thanks for subscribing as well, man. We're going to be dropping like crazy. We're going to live stream all the time and drop like crazy and break down these fights. Appreciate it. Especially with these press conferences back-to-back days. And then a pay-per-view card behind that to top it off. Stay on the lookout, man. Welcome. Shout out to Sam Peters, man. Thanks for joining, bro. We'll see you soon. We will see you soon. Appreciate everyone in the chat. Everyone liked and subscribed, it looked like. Yeah, this might be the best time to stream. Late night. All right. I got to get a refill right here. I'll be right back. All right. Shout out to Sam Peters, John Dong. What up again? What up? You're still here. That's good to see. You're the man, brother. How are you? What up, Nathan? What up? Just baked right now listening to Payroll. Man, I feel like I'm having deja vu again. I feel like I'm having deja vu here. All right. Baked, Payroll, probably hotboxing behind the Walmart. And at the same time, whooping ass and chest. You're a multitasker, man. Juggling 4 things at once, probably, huh? Sean Strickland said, it's okay if big nose that live in America are more loyal to a certain country in the Middle East. It won't let me mention or my comment gets deleted. Yeah, code word. You're catching on. Code word, man. That's all I got to say is code word. So Sean Strickland said, it's okay if the juice box emoji that live in America are more loyal to a certain country. Oh, he actually believes that? He believes that shit? Or is he being sarcastic? Yeah, he probably hates that shit. Yeah. if Sean Strickland has a spine, I'm sure he has a spine. Yeah, that's not right. You know, Sean Strickland, he represents the USA. He's actually declining the Australian fight card. He was supposed to fight Fluffy in Australia. But he said, nah, fuck that. I'm not signing those papers. We're fighting in America. I mean, think about it. Yeah, why isn't Fluffy fighting Strickland in America? They're both American fighters. They're both born in the USA. Let them fight in Vegas. Yeah, he said it seriously on Twitter once. Hey, if you want to use code word, maybe just call it Israel Adesanya. That's a good save right there. Just call it Israel Adesanya. We'll know what you mean. Right? I mean, that's UFC related. His name is Israel Adesanya. Isn't it funny? We got fighters named Israel Adesanya, Islam Makhachev, Bilal Muhammad. We got some, you know, interesting names of fighters, if you know what I'm saying. Islam Makhachev, Israel Adesanya, Bilal Muhammad. We also have a Jesus. I'm just messing. All right, Strickland is going to get arrested for some bullshit at some point in his career, I think. What would it be? I mean, he gets suspended for dumb shit like punching fighters who like told him to suck it, which is kind of crazy. You know? But is he going to get arrested for some... You know what? Book him against Khamzat Chimaev and he just might. Book Strickland versus Khamzat Chimaev and he might just. That might just happen. Reveal the vampire crab, homie. I know you got it. Man, the only vampire, no vampire around here. Just me when I pull an all-nighter. That's the vampire. But I will get one. Like I said, when we're at the 1,000 subs, no excuse. I'll have the damn tank in the background of all my streams, alright? When I reach 1,000 subs, I'll put the tank in the back. You'll be able to see it. And it'll be full of vampire crabs. Deal. That sounds like a good deal to me. Don't ask Muslims about what Prophet Muhammad said about black people. Alright, noted. I won't ask them. I hear you. Wow. Must not have been nice. I'm just guessing it wasn't nice. Is that the case? Am I right? Was it something mean? But yeah, it's just funny. We got fighters with all that stuff in their name. Now, Sean Strickland says he doesn't want everyone on the UFC roster to have their last name end in an OV. What do you guys think about that? He didn't say that verbatim, word for word, but, you know. Strickland just said he won't be interested in the roster or the fights anymore if, like, all the fights are like Magomedov versus Medov. And people like MMA Joey twisted it into saying, you know, they twisted his words and formed a different narrative. The production quality of streams with a nice fish aquarium in the back would go so hard. Especially black beta male fishes and vampire crabs. Alright. I don't even have to do my research on what I'm going to put in the tank. You're already feeding me ideas here. You just fed me tons of ideas here. I love it. All right, I already know what I'm getting. PetSmart better look out. My cat's going to appreciate that too. You know what? If I have that aquarium in the background, my cat is going to be trying to break into it. So there will be a whole lot going on all at once. It'll be pretty entertaining. I got to put a strong lid on there, because I know my cat will try to scoop its paw in there. That'll be hilarious. There was a dude at my Walmart today, blackout drunk, just laying in front of the Walmart. Now that sounds like a Walmart. That's Walmart 101 right there. I swear, at the Walmarts by me, that's exactly what happens. If you're ever bored, just go to Walmart. If you need some more drama in your life, just go to Walmart. You need some entertainment. You need something to wake you up. You want to watch some action, just go to Walmart. You don't even got to go shopping. Just walk up and down the aisles. Bro, Petr Yan looks so happy at Media Day. Like he knows something we don't. Aha. Really? I got to watch his post or his pre-fight Media Day. He was also like, Merab's activity ain't shit, because he keeps fighting in Vegas and LA. Vegas and LA once, which is 3 hours away. What's 3 hours away? Where Merab lives? No, Merab is more East Coast, right? Doesn't Merab reside in New York with Aljo? So what's 3 hours away? But if Petr Yan looks like he knows something we don't, that's interesting. Now, I know one of the main differences is this fighting in the Apex. The first time they fought, it was in the small cage. This one's not in the Apex. Like, Merab lives in Vegas, and Yan was like, he's just fighting at home. And LA is only 3 hours away from Vegas, so no travel issue. Okay, I hear what you're saying. But, wait, I thought Merab trained with Aljo in New York. I thought Aljo trains in New York with Merab and Ray Longo. Is Merab in Vegas or New York, I guess is my question. Maybe he goes back and forth. But I thought Aljo was his main training partner. Unless they all just moved to Vegas. The Broncos are killing it right now. We going to the Super Bowl. Hey, Broncos are killing it right now. But did you see that Detroit Lions halftime show on Thanksgiving? We had the best halftime show, alright? The Super Bowl halftime show won't even be that good. Maybe Merab moved to Vegas, shit. Or is he a New York guy? But either way, I feel like even if a fighter was offered to fight in their hometown every single fight, let's just say O'Malley was allowed to fight in Arizona every single time he fought from here on out, I still doubt he would fight 4 times a year, you know? So yeah, I still doubt the fighters would fight 4 times a year. Lions are my other favorite team. Hell yeah, that's what's up. It's you got to be very faithful to be a Lions fan. You got to be very passionate because it's almost like there's a voodoo curse on them sometimes. It's only 3 hours, New York City to LA, because he has better cardio. Yeah, he could just fucking sprint there. That guy won't get tired. I bet Merab can just sprint from New York to LA just as a light jog. He won't even get tired. No breaks. Yeah, Jan was fun to watch. He's mentally very healthy right now, which is great. Right. And I think the only thing, there was two things that took him off track since he's been champ. He got really screwed over. One was the Aljo fight, where Aljo really had an acting class from that knee. And then two, it was that robbery against O'Malley. I think Petr Yan won rounds 2 and 3. Yeah, Merab lives in Vegas. Is Ray Longo not his coach? I thought Ray Longo was in his corner as well. I thought Ray Longo was a New York guy. Maybe he still trains with them, but he's in Vegas now? Because I thought for sure he trains with Ray Longo and them. And Matt Serra. Maybe he migrated to Vegas. I believe you. MMA math. Yeah, so guys, in MMA math, this is how you do MMA math. This is the reality of it. Here's the thing, guys, like Sean Strickland would say. Here's the thing. In MMA math, 2 + 2 = 5. And that's all you need to know about MMA math. 2 + 2 = 5. That's how fucking confusing it is. We need more fights in Arizona. Anywhere where you could sell out the event and the prelims will be packed, book the fights there. I love when they have fight cards and like the prelims are packed, seats are full. It kind of annoys me, like in Vegas when there's great prelims and no one's in the crowd besides Theo Von because there's so much to do in Vegas. Or you're in LA, bang your card, and seats aren't filled during the prelims because there's so much going on in LA. Let's go to more chill cities, I guess. Sell out this fucking arena, and let's get asses in seats for the prelims. Let's get a large crowd pop. But yeah, you need more fights in Arizona. There's some Arizona fighters, right? O'Malley. Who else? A lot of bantamweights fight in Arizona, it seems like. Cejudo, right? Does Waldo fight out of Arizona? I know Waldo's from the Dominican Republic, but does he train in Arizona? Or am I tripping? Yeah, have an Arizona card. I'm ready for them to come to Detroit. I'm ready. I wanted to go to that Chicago card, but after that main event with Hamzat and Dricus, man, I'm glad I did not go. I'm glad I watched it from home. I trained once at a gym that closed near where I live, and I've seen Waldo Acosta in person. So he does train in Arizona. All right. That's what's up. That's what's up. You seen Waldo. You found Waldo, man. Think about it. That's a major achievement. People have been trying so hard to do that. You found Waldo. Now, did you see him sparring, or did you just catch him walking out of the gym? Was he just hitting pads, doing personal training? And do you still train now? What were you doing? Were you training MMA? Were you grappling? Why were you in that gym? More fights in UAE. Those crowd are hot. Not being sarcastic. Why do I think you are? Why do I think you're being sarcastic? Listen. I think the UAE has their seats filled in the prelims. But my complaint about the fights there is, where's the pop? I see so many people in the seats, but where's the roar? You know what my favorite type of fan is? The best type of MMA fan is a 9-to-5er with a beer in their hand. That'll be the loudest, most electric crowd. It's a crowd full of 9-to-5ers with a beer in their hand. Those are the most passionate fans. And the loudest fans. You'll hear the loudest pop from those type of fans. You know, nothing better than an average Joe in the crowd drinking a basic beer, screaming at the fights. That's how you do it. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of places that have a loud crowd pop, you know. I'm surprised there's been no UFC Africa yet. UFC has failed to go to so many places. There's been no UFC Georgia. Why haven't they went to Georgia? Why haven't they been to Africa? They should do some in North Korea next. Yeah, why? Yeah, good luck. Well, yeah, after the White House card, let's go to North Korea. Great. I just seen him when I was training. He was just there doing something else. I train like jiu-jitsu and Muay Thai. I just get my ass kicked most of the time, but it was fun. Hey, that's how it is sometimes, you know. There's a lot of gym warriors that need to win in the gym. How long did you train for? And do you still train? You know, I train jiu-jitsu. I actually went all of last week. I went every day. I went Monday through Friday. Or sorry, the week before that. Last week was Thanksgiving, right? I've been trying to train a lot, you know? You never know. Bro, you're actually entertaining, like your channel's gonna blow up for sure. You do great work on your videos. Appreciate it, man. Appreciate that. That means a lot. Well, if that's the case, if the channel's gonna blow up and I'm doing great work on the videos, I better stay in shape, man. So, you know, maybe I could call out, you know, maybe MMA Joey to a little spar or maybe a MMA channel fight. I just got back from BJJ. Oh, no shit. No shit, how was it? What move were you hitting on everybody? And what rank are you right now? What belt? I'm sure you were hitting everyone with the go-to move or a move of the day. Sean Strickland interview as well. Oh, that'd be crazy. A Bryce one? A Sean Strickland one? I can definitely see myself getting along with Bryce pretty easily. Sean Strickland, you'll never know how that could go, but I'm sure it'd be entertaining, right? Here's the thing, guys. Here's the thing. That's how you'd start the interview. Here's the thing. Money making Mitch. Here's the thing. That'd be cool, though. Yeah. Hell yeah. No, I haven't trained in many years. I was a teenager still the last time I trained. I used to lift weights and everything, but I haven't done any of that in a while. It's so easy to stop training sometimes because one injury, you know, something like that, then you automatically get new hobbies. The minute you take a break from training, like more than 2 days off, what happens? New hobbies. Now you're like, fuck, how do I get back to the gym? I got all these new hobbies. The hardest part is going back, like for your second time. I had to do that. You know what would be the most fun shit on earth? Doing a side-by-side interview with Chimaev and Strickland. Oh, man. That'd be so fun to instigate the fuck out of that. It would be so easy to instigate that. I mean, any question would set them off at each other. That'd be amazing. Damn, imagine how many views that would get. Hamzat and Strickland side-by-side interview. That's what we need. If Strickland beats Fluffy, that's how you promote that fight. Damn, I could just see it now. I could just see it now. That's gold. That's gold right there. We were working on butterfly sweep. Hit it twice in live roll. I'm a white belt. Oh, you're a white belt. Nice, nice. Butterfly sweeps are good. Yep. Get both legs under there. Flex your feet up. Get an underhook or an overhook. And you got to kick that leg to the sky. Yep. It helps too when you do it from your shoulder. You're supposed to be like on your shoulder and on your head while you hit that butterfly sweep. You got to balance on your shoulder and your head and then kick your leg sometimes. That's a good way to do it. That would be so unhinged too. It would be insanity. It would be arc insanity, man. It would be arc insanity. That'd be crazy. I'm surprised. Damn, if Strickland beats Fluffy, they have to do that. I know they wouldn't. But man, they gotta do that. Is Strickland gonna beat Fluffy? You know what? I would never want to see Strickland in another title fight again. But since it's Hamzat, I wouldn't mind it. If he beats Fluffy. And that's not an easy task. Strickland would be like, hey, yo, fucking Chech, explain the crypto scams now. Right. It would almost be like McGregor versus Habib. But it'd be American versus Chechen rather than Irish versus Dagestan. UFC loves Sean a lot. They can give him the fight, honestly. Yeah, I'm surprised how much they love Sean. Maybe because he does the Nina Drama interviews. For Paramount Plus. Listen. For Paramount Plus, can we please get less Nina Drama interviews? Please. Please. I don't watch them. They pop up. We don't need it. We already know who every fighter is going to bring with them if there was ever an alien invasion, all right? We've asked that question enough. Please, Paramount. I don't know if you have any control over this. But please cut down on the Nina Drama interviews for this Paramount shit. All right, good night. See ya. Peace out, man. Peace out, Caden. He's tapping out. He's tapping out. Since we're talking jiu-jitsu, but no, have a good one, bro. Yeah, UFC loves Sean Strickland a lot. I mean, it proves it. They gave him 2 title fights against Dreykus. I can't believe Strickland got a back-to-back title fight. That's crazy. Why not, dude? The drama interviews are very compelling. And talk to your journalism, not being sarcastic. It's gotta be. The drama interviews are very compelling. I can't stand them. Her interviews have never hyped me up for a fight. Honestly, I think there's a curse. I feel like if Arman wasn't impressing Nina Drama, he would have made it to the fight. If you're not, I think you're being sarcastic, but if you're not, I don't know. I'm not into the Nina drama. Not into the Nina drama. I feel like she's a plant. Maybe that's what it is. I feel like her boyfriend being the cameraman's fake. There's no fucking way. No one's that much of a pansy. I don't know. Maybe Nina's a plant, you know? You got Black Beast skinning Waldo in a round? Oh man, that'd be crazy. If anyone could do it, it'd be him. I mean, Derek Lewis won his last fight by first round knockout. Remember, Derek Lewis said, it's in the script. I'm going to win by first round knockout. If Derek Lewis comes out and says, it's in the script, I'm going to win by first round knockout, I'm picking Derek Lewis. It depends on how confident Derek is looking. But if I had to bet on paper, like Anthony Smith, on paper, Waldo wins. That jab, keep him at range with that jab. Blind him with the jab. Go overhand, more volume. But Lewis can definitely chin Waldo. That's a fun fight. Is that on the main card or the prelims? That's a fun one. If Derek is a serious underdog, maybe I'll put $2 or $3 on him, you know? But on paper, I'm going Waldo. I think Waldo is hungry. And Derek Lewis, he slimmed down a lot, right? Have you noticed how slim he's been looking? I feel like the Black Beast could do it, but when it comes to mentality, fighting's a lot of it's mental. I think Waldo really wants that fucking belt, so I'm going Waldo. Until Derek Lewis says he's so confident in a first round knockout. It's part of the script. Then I'm going Derek. But damn, the activity from Waldo. Gotta respect it. Gotta respect that shit. And that's a good fight. I hope it's on the main card. And I hope it's not another Ngannou versus Derek Lewis type fight. I don't want to jinx it. You know. There's no way it can be, right? It can't be like Ngannou versus Derek Lewis. Like where you think it's going to be fireworks, but they end up just staring at each other. But yeah, Waldo, I think he's got it. I hope there's a knockout in that fight. Either way, if there's a knockout, it's exciting. Now, I feel like winner will get a title shot. I have this weird feeling that I feel like Waldo is going to fight for the interim heavyweight belt. I hope Aspinall's eye gets better. Because I have this weird feeling that the next heavyweight title fight won't have Aspinall in it. I hope I'm wrong. I got this weird feeling the next heavyweight title fight might not include Tom Aspinall. Maybe his eye doesn't get better in time. Who knows? But I would really love to see that Gane Aspinall rematch. I want to see bully Tom Aspinall. I want him to be about it. I want him to talk like he did on the Ariel interview at the pressers. And I hope that fight's on the main card for 324. Let's see. It should be. All right, let's see this card. Let's see this card. Oh, Alexa Grasso just pulled out of the fight against Rose Namajunas. What am I going to do? What am I going to do about that? I don't give a fuck. That was the last fight I cared to watch. Thank God. If any fight was going to withdraw, have it be that fight. Thank you. We don't got to watch Namajunas versus Grasso. Thank you. All right, back to the card. Oh, I think someone's going to step in on short notice. I don't know. Where's the card? UFC 324. I think Derek learned his lesson from the Francis fight. I feel like he knows he's got to be the highlight reel. Yeah, like his last fight was a first round knockout. He does know that. He does push the pace a little more. He beat Titleshot Teixeira, right? Knocked him out cold. I'm actually pretty pumped up. Oh, it's the featured... No. It's the second fight on the main card. I like it. I like it. Great fight. Great fight. Waldo versus Derek Lewis. I'm hyped about it. I'm hyped about O'Malley versus Yadong. And I'm hyped about Arnold Allen versus Gene Silva. And Umar. This is a good card. With whack title fights, but it's a good card. They are going to F Tom bad. I think they are. I think they are. Man, can't we just screw over Dana White and kick him out? He hates every heavyweight champion besides Jones and Cormier. Every other heavyweight champ he hates. He hated Stipe. He hates Ngannou. He hates Aspinall. But he loves Steiny. He loves Nelk Boys. He loves Steve Will Do It. And Nina Drama. Ty and Tali-san are going at it apparently. Fuck it, book it. Let's see a good bar scrap. Let's see a good bar brawl. I think I would have Tali-san win in that fight. Tai Tuivasa does not look in shape to me. He was one of my favorite heavyweight fighters. The shoey. Guys, don't do the shoey. You know, you might fall off. Don't do the shoey. It ain't worth it. You know what? Speaking of like that FBI investigation that the UFC had after the Isaac Dalgarian fight. That Derek Lewis versus Tai Tuivasa fight, now that I think about it, was very sketchy. Looking back, how the fuck did Tai Tuivasa KO Derek Lewis like that? I would so pick Derek Lewis right now to beat and knock out Tai Tuivasa. If they fought again, I'm picking Derek Lewis. So that's a weird fight to look back on and be like, damn, no shit. Tuivasa knocked out Lewis with an elbow? I got Derek Lewis in a rematch. They'll never fight again. I don't want to see it, but I can't believe Derek Lewis got knocked out. You know? But screw it. Bring Ngannou back. Let's send Alex Pereira up to heavyweight. Let's get Aspinall fighting. Let's build the heavyweight division back up. Let's build it back up. There's good heavyweights. The problem is they're not all active fighters in the UFC. And then by the time that's all settled, then we'll have Stevenson. What's his name? Gable? What the fuck's his name? Gable Stevenson. Stevenson. He's got the most tongue twister mindfuck name. Gable Stevenson. It's not Gabe Stevenson. It's not Gable Stevenson. It's Gable Stevenson. You got more posters back there? Or are those just it? Or just those 6? Oh, yeah, I got more. I got more. The ones you can't see. The ones you can't see are... I got the McGregor versus Mayweather poster. And I got the John Jones versus Thiago Santos poster. Now, too bad they didn't include Jorge Masvidal and Ben Askren on that poster. Because that highlight reel knockout was on that card. That was the best fight on the card, you know? That was like the holy shit moment. But yeah, I got the Jones versus Santos poster and the McGregor versus Mayweather poster. And I can get more. My friend works at a sports bar that plays the fights. And he can basically get me any poster I want. So I just gotta, you know, contact him. And be like, hey, I want this fight poster. Pull up to the bar. And it's mine. What's the next sick poster I gotta grab? What would be a badass fight poster? Which fight card coming up? When it's the right one, I'll ask him for a few more posters. But I really like that Nate Diaz Masvidal one, that BMF one. That's one of my favorite ones design-wise. I dig it. I'm trying to think of some of the best fight posters. Alright, let's see. How long have I been on the stream? You got to get the first ever Paramount card. You know what? You might be right. I'm going to have to contact my friend and be like, listen, man, you're going to have to rip off one of those posters off the bar wall for me. You're right. And I'll add it while I'll put it in the background. I'm going to have to get the first ever Paramount card poster. They're probably really going to deck it up. We're going to spruce it up. But it's going to be weird having John Cena in a wig on my fight poster. But it is what it is. Why not? Yeah, Gaethje versus Paddy. That should be a cool poster. It's usually just the main and the co-main event. Sometimes just the main event's on the poster. Or sometimes you'll have all three. Like that one right there. The UFC 235 poster has 3 fights. Jones Smith, Woodley Usman, and Askren Lawler. And the White House poster. Oh, yeah. Now you're talking. Yeah, that'd be sick. Get the White House poster. Yeah, now you're talking. I wonder what that one's going to look like. Probably just USA, right? Blue, red, white. Some stars, some stripes. And check the chat here. Make sure I didn't miss any other chats. But yeah, now you're talking, man. Alright, guys. I'm going to start trying to stream even more. I always say that. I stream anytime I get the chance, really. But I'm going to dip now. I'm going to head out. Fill up my cup. Chill out. Wind down. Get up early. And then get to work. Probably stream and talk about the fight card tomorrow and the press conference and all that shit. Might make a UFC 323 wrap. Might do a little quick predictions. But yeah, guys, thanks for joining the chat. Thank you. I'm going to hit the road. I'm going to bounce. But thanks for subscribing, everyone. And I will make sure I get those posters. I'm going to have to call my friend right now. We're going to have to rip off all those posters and bring them here. It's a very good idea. You're right. I haven't asked him for a new poster in a while. I think it's due. I haven't been greedy with it. I haven't asked him for one in a while, but now it's time. It's time. All right, guys. Thanks for joining the chat. I'll catch you guys soon. Guys. Peace.